Good evening, believers. How are you doing on this All Hallows Eve tonight? How are you doing? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me, you don't know what it is that I do here. I am a love coach specifically for women who want to heal and reconcile after infidelity. You have been cheated on, but you have your reasons for staying. Chances are you love this guy. You just are into him. You like him. And yes, he messed up, but you're not ready for him to completely destroy your fairy tale yet. You feel like maybe you could work through it. Maybe, just maybe, you could get to the happy ending that you really, really want. And I am here to tell you that you can absolutely do that. I am um, almost 18 years past the last incidences of infidelity. And I'm here to tell you, you can get your happy ending. You can get the ending to the story that you really, really want instead of the forced ending of you have to leave him and it will never work out. You are not being forced into that ending. You do not have to choose that. You can choose to heal, to rebuild yourself, to rebuild the relationship, to get on steady ground again. I know the way to do it and I want to share it with you, okay? So, first and foremost, if you have never gotten my dreams formula, I need you to pick that up, all right? If you are watching me on Instagram, go ahead and put in dreams in my in the comments or DM me dreams and I'll send you the link. And everybody else in Love After Cheating and Love Coach Dasha, all you need to do is put that in the comments as well. Dreams, and I got you. I will send you the link for it. However, if you're in Love After Cheating, it's right there in the top of the group, okay? So it's pinned to the top if you're interested, all right? I break down the dreams formula, exactly what I did to be able to heal and reconcile after infidelity. Me personally, was able to do, the actions that I took, the steps that I took out of the woods, back home to my castle where I belong. I took these steps that are in the dreams formula, and I want you to take them too. It's a very, very simple formula. And if you focus on this and just stick with the steps, no matter what you are tripping up on, there is a step that will tell you exactly what to do. Okay. So the first step is to decide you want to be in this relationship. You want to work things out. You don't want to continue to hurt. R is for recognizing and then overcoming the fear speech, the fearful thoughts inside your own head, the fearful thoughts that other people will share with you when you say, I'm trying to stay after infidelity, all of the negative, mean things that people will say, all of the stigma. You have to learn to absorb that and then step right past it. All right. The E is for evaluating the why. Why did this happen? Why did he do this? This, you see, the third step is the first time we're ever even really talking about him. Okay. And we need to know why, not to try and stop it from happening again, because that's impossible. You don't have any control over anybody else. But you have control over whether you feel compassion for whatever pain made him decide that this terrible idea was a good idea. That had to be pain, right? We're not making terrible decisions out here when we are doing well. We make bad decisions when we don't know better and when we are hurting. So chances are this was some pain that he was going through. If you can find your compassion for that, it's a lot easier for you to heal from the inside out. A is for allowing the healing to happen. You have to let down those walls. You have to open yourself up a little bit to be able to let the healing in, to be able to see when he's doing all the things that you were needing him to do to help you heal. M is for managing the future feelings. That's referring to the triggers. These feelings are going to pop up because triggers are automatically created with such a trauma. And what we need to do is have a plan in order to deal with them, not to just fall for whatever our fear and our pain are telling us in the moment, but to have a plan of action that will make us feel better and get us out of the triggered mind state. Okay. And then, of course, the S. seek some support. Get yourself somebody who will be on your team to do all of this. If all your friends are giving you a hard time, I volunteer. All right. You can come to me, message me, and I will help you to figure out the steps. I have an Enchanted Reconciliation call, absolutely free, 45 minutes. You can talk with me and get some clarity about these steps and what you need to do next. And the thing after that that you need to do to be able to heal and reconcile with your honey after this infidelity. Get on one of my Enchanted Reconciliation calls, DM me, call CALL, and I will send you the link for that. I want to talk to you. And I know you want to tell me about what's been going on, don't you? Don't you want to share? I want to hear it. You want to share. We are going to get together and talk on an Enchanted Reconciliation call, and you are going to have a plan at the end of that, along with the dreams formula to always be able to refer back to be able to help you along the path. Okay? All right. So now, like I mentioned, this is a trauma. You are dealing with a trauma. This is not just, oh, that's my heart's broken. No, this is a physical thing that is actually happening to you. Your brain and your body are reacting to this as if it's a life or death situation. What we've got to do is recognize that and start to do some things to kind of calm that down, to get that under control. Our bodies and our brains are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. When you have been traumatized and you have been hurt in this way, it is supposed to try and protect you, sending adrenaline into your system, getting you ready to fight, getting ready to run. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. If this were an emergency situation, this were life or death, you would absolutely need that response. However, this is not what that is. You want to love this person. You want to be close with this person. We can't do fight or flight and be close at the same time. It does not work. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So we've got to start to calm some of the effects of the trauma on our brains and our bodies, and then we can get to the healing. So the first thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together is I need you to be doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not, I need you to get right about that. I tell people every single solitary day to do their deep breathing. I remind my clients to do their deep breathing. The reason you need this is because when you are in that fight or flight state, your breath changes. You are sipping in the air and you are very quickly blowing it out to get the next breath in. The more you breathe like that, the more carbon dioxide is building up in your lungs. And then that signals your brain that something must be wrong with you because there's so much excess carbon dioxide. And so then that feeds into the anxiety that you're already feeling, making it feel like it's a real thing, making it feel like you're really in danger when you are not. So we've got to do our deep breathing. It's the opposite of that breathing. It's the opposite of the fight or flight breathing. So what we've got to do is slowly inhale and exhale, fully letting out that carbon dioxide, getting some space for some good, fresh oxygen inside. And I say all of that to say breathing is good for you, okay? Oxygen is good for your body. Let's do good things for our body. As we are trying to heal, we need that self care. We need to do these good things for our bodies so that our bodies understand that we are caring for them. We are paying attention. We know that it feels like we're in danger. We know that. However, that's not really what's happening. Let me take care of you so that you understand that we are safe. That is what you need to be consistently doing if you want to heal from this trauma. So we're going to do our deep breathing together. We're going to do it 3 times as a group, but I want you to be doing this 5 times a day on your own. Set an alarm, put it in your phone. Your phone's always with you. Take the minute that it's going to take for you to do this 5 times in a row and take care of yourself. Signal to your body that you are safe and you are in control. You know what is happening. You know that it was bad, but you are actually in control. There is no need to worry. You're on your job. Okay? All right. So what we do is 4-7-8 breathing. What we're going to do is blow out, trying to deflate your lungs, trying to get as much out as you possibly can. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4 through your nose if you can. The weather is changing, so my sinuses are acting up, so I can sometimes breathe through my nose. Inhale for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7 so that your body has a chance to use this oxygen that you just breathed in. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. When you're doing this, it is slowly controlling your breath, letting your body know that you are in control. Okay? All right. Come on, join me. If you're over here on Love Coach Dasha, join me. If you're over here on YouTube, join me to do your deep breathing. All right. First things first, we're going to blow out. Breathe in through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How does it feel when you do your deep breathing? Let me know in the comments. All right. It should feel better. It should feel like there is some type of shift inside your body, inside your brain, because you are signaling, hey, I'm all right. Everything's okay. I can breathe just fine. I don't need to run away. I don't need to fight anybody. I'm okay. When you do that, it starts to relax your body a little bit, bring your blood pressure down, bring your pulse down. Put it in the comments. How does it make you feel when you're doing the deep breathing? Okay? The next thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together is I need you to be doing your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you are not, girl, you're missing it. You are missing out on it because you need to be doing your journaling. First and foremost, that's going to help you with trauma. It's going to help you to process it, help you get it out of your head and down on the paper so it's not bothering you all the time anymore. All right. But you will be able to discover what your triggers are. You'll be able to figure out where there are connections that you don't even know are there if you are doing your journaling on a regular basis. It does not take a lot to get these benefits. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking you for. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening before you go to bed. First thing when you wake up, all the thoughts that bubble up to the surface, the first things that you start thinking, the things that you worry about, the things that you're angry about, put those down. Tell your brain, hey, I'm writing these down right here. I've got a day. I got to figure out the day. But while I'm doing the day, you be working on these things. Mull them over. You tell me what you came up with when we get back home at night. All right? Give your brain an assignment with using your journal. Same thing at night before you go to bed. If your brain has been ruminating about something all day long and you've been stressed out about it and you can't figure it out, assign your subconscious to go ahead and handle that, or your unconscious to go ahead and handle that while you're asleep. Tell your brain, hey, look, I gotta go to bed. It's late. I need to get up in the morning. I got things to do. Gotta continue on taking care of this body by going to work, doing all the things. So I'm going to write this down here and you work on this tonight while I'm sleeping. You let me know in the morning if you came up with a solution. Otherwise, I'm not going to keep on devoting all this energy, this focus, this thought to this thing. Because if you can't figure it out while I'm asleep, then I'm definitely not going to be able to figure it out. So we're just going to have to leave it for right now. It makes it so much easier to be able to just leave it sometimes. Okay. Do your date your time and your level of anxiety every time you journal. Your date and time are going to go at the top. You're going to do your level of anxiety before you journal and then after you journal. It is going to show you that the act of journaling, even for that 5 minutes, is going to bring your anxiety down. If you start off at a 7, you're probably going to come out at a 6 if you spend 5 minutes on it. It is a simple way to start pushing that anxiety down, that stress that you're feeling, bringing it down a couple of notches by pouring it out onto this paper. Your level of anxiety now. All right, 0 to 10. We got to put a fence around these feelings. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. You are great. All is right with the world. Write that down. You need to write that down. You need to make sure that you are saying, you are acknowledging that you are having a good day, you are feeling good, because your brain will try and tell you you never have any good days anymore. This trauma happened and it just ruined your life and nothing was ever good again. That's not true. It will feel very true, but it's not actually true. So if you are consistently in your journal, top of the page, writing down your level of anxiety, and you're like, this was a good few days where I was like a 0 or a 1 or maybe a 2. I was feeling all right. You can convince your brain that it is lying. It doesn't know what it's talking about. You know what you're talking about because you wrote it down. You experienced it. You know for sure that there are good days. Then there is a 10. A 10 is a complete loss of control. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. I am out of control of myself. I am screaming. I am throwing things. The neighbors are banging on the walls, maybe calling the police. It's gotten out of hand, right? If we are at a 10, it is out of hand. You are not in control of yourself at all anymore. All right. You are not journaling if you are a 10. If you are sitting down with pen in hand and your journal open, you have control over yourself. So you are not at a 10. So you can say, oh, I was at a 10. I was running down the street naked. I was freaking out. You can write that down later after you've gotten less than a 10. But at the moment when you are writing, you cannot say that you are a 10. It will keep a good fence around these feelings if you just abide by those rules about what the limits are. Because your brain knows, okay, well, 0 is great. I could be a 0. I can't possibly be a 10. That's out of control if I'm sitting down here writing in my journal. Okay, it must not be quite as bad as I thought it was. That gives you information. So if you're doing this on a consistent basis, you will be able to look through your journal end of the week, in a couple weeks, end of a month, and be able to find all sorts of connections and patterns and reasons for triggers and ways that the trigger actually got better. You didn't even realize that it got better because of that. You will find these things as you're reading if you do your journaling. Do your journaling. That's mine's right here. All right, purple matching. Look at that. It is right here. I write in it every day. I try and write something every single day. It's good for you. Okay? All right. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you when we get together, and the things that I tell you, these are the practices. I will teach you about these. I have taught all of my clients about these practices. You can get a copy of the practices. Just put practices in the comments, and I got you. I will send you the link for all of the practices that I'm telling you right now. But the practices, the third of the practices is to practice gratitude. When was the last time were you really thankful for something? If you have been in the midst of this pain and this trauma, it's real hard to redivert your brain back around to good things. Your brain wants to be negative after a trauma. That's how it protects you. I got to think the worst things, the worst possible case scenarios, and make sure that you're prepared for something bad to happen because it's going to happen. All right. That's what your brain assumes since you've been hurt before that it's going to happen again. So you've got to be on alert. But that's not good for you if you are trying to maintain a relationship. Being constantly negative all the time. Do you want to be in a relationship with somebody who's constantly negative all the time because of their trauma? No, right? It doesn't work that way. It is not good for a relationship and it's not really good for you. As you are sitting there always thinking the negative thoughts, that is increasing your stress hormones. Cortisol, that's where belly fat comes from. Okay. We can, oh no, we are not giving ourselves extra cortisol. Okay. We got to change those thoughts. All right. When you are constantly thinking the negative, it affects your body. Your blood pressure will be higher. Your pulse will be higher. You'll get more headaches. You'll get sick more often because those stress hormones are high and your immune system is being derailed. So we've got to switch that around for all of the reasons, for the healing, for you being the best possible you that you can be. We've got to switch our brains from thinking all the negative things to thinking positive things. And it's hard to go from hurt and angry and scared and sad to good things. Trying to find those is difficult. That's why I use gratitude. If you use gratitude as a stepping stone, it's a lot easier to get to happy from there. And it's a lot easier to climb up out of misery. So if you are constantly, just every single morning, thinking of 5 things that you are grateful for, first thing, before you do anything else, just 5 things you are grateful for in this moment. If you do that every morning, write it down in your journal, go to the back pages and just start every day listing those 5 things. First of all, at the end of 30 days, you're going to love what you wrote down. You are going to love it. You are going to realize how good your life actually is, even in spite of this painful thing happening to you, this infidelity, this betrayal. Yes, you are going to feel good about your life because you're going to see day after day after day after day of good things that are in your life. Okay. So, besides all of that, it reprograms your brain. If you first thing in the morning say, I want to think of 5 things that make me feel grateful, you are assigning your brain that task. And so it comes up with it right off the bat. And that's, you're spending about a good 17 seconds thinking about it. So when you spend 17 seconds thinking about something positive, your brain will then be like, oh, we're trying to think of positive stuff. And it will then offer you another good thing. So if you're constantly directing your brain to telling you good things, your brain will eventually take the hints and then unprompted, it will start giving you good things to think about instead of the negative, terrible, miserable, scary things that it had you thinking about before. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense because seriously, it's really good for you to think good thoughts. So, for I always do Thirsty Thursday. I want to hear your good stuff. Put your positive things in the comments. Whatever good happened to you this week. I'm grateful that tomorrow is Halloween. Favorite holiday. Favorite. Love to dress up. I'm gonna dress up. I'm determined. I'm just gonna dress up. I'm going absolutely nowhere. And there are no kids in my neighborhood too impressed with my costumes and my yard and my fog machine. But guess what? I'm gonna still do it. All right. I'm gonna still do it because I am grateful for a closet full of clothes that can easily be turned into a costume. I am grateful for my creative brain that could think of a beautiful costume at any given moment. All right. And I am grateful for lots and lots of candy. So it's just constantly thinking about redirecting your brain to those things that are positive. It'll start to make you smile. It'll start to lighten up your mood. It will help you to not only be focused on this bad thing that happened to you. Your life is so much more than just this infidelity. It is so much more than this trauma you're experiencing. We've got to dig a little deeper and find those good things in our lives if we want to recover from the infidelity. Okay? All right. And the last thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, I need you to listen to me on this. I need you to stop asking all those questions. Oh my gosh, you have to cut it out. Okay? I understand that you want to ask the questions. I am here to tell you that that is a trauma response. That's what it is. It is not your brain trying to help you. It's not. It is your brain determining that this is a threat. This person in front of me is a threat, and I can question them. Things that are like a threat that you can't ask direct questions, you ask questions like about. Like, oh, is that a snake over there? What color snake is that? Where did that snake come from? Is there other snakes? You will ask questions around it because you can't necessarily ask the snake the question. Our brains do the exact same thing with our mates when that it does when a snake is around because it is a trauma response. This is a threat. This is something scary you got to be paying attention to. And since it can answer you, let's interrogate it. Let's ask it some questions. So now you are treating your mate like a threat. You can't keep doing that and have a healthy, happy relationship. That just does not work. You wouldn't want to be treated like that, right? No, it wouldn't be any fun. You wouldn't want to be in a relationship like that where somebody was always interrogating you and assuming the worst of you. It's not good, right? So you can get tripped up into asking questions by asking innocent questions, okay? When your brain is like, well, ask him how his day was, all right? And you're like, yes, that's a good question. That's a good partner question to ask. I should ask that. Your brain is not giving a damn about how his day was. I promise you, it is not concerned with that at all. What it is trying to do is get you to start asking questions. As soon as you start, it gives you another and another and another. And then you're like, well, what is his response? How is he responding to this? Should I believe what he's saying? It will start to make you go down a very bad path, send you right on down the rabbit hole. Okay. So try your very best this week not to ask any questions at all. Not how was your day? I hope you had a really great day today. You can say that. That's the same sentiment. You wanted him to have a good day. I hope you wanted him to have a good day. You can say it in that way. Make the question into a statement. If you make the question into a statement, a lot of the time you will catch yourself about to start interrogating him. You will be expecting a certain answer from the question. But if you turn it around into a statement and okay, he doesn't have to answer you, now you realize what you're missing. Now you're like, oh, I wanted him to say this, that, and the third, so that I can compare that to what he said this last time. It's tricky, okay? Just recognize that your brain wants to ask those questions because it is treating him like a threat. If you keep doing that, you are going to consider him a threat and you are not going to be able to heal because you are constantly in threat mode, okay? Now, all that being said, I know that urge to ask a question makes your brain itch, doesn't it? Makes you want to reach inside your skull and just scratch because it keeps on going. It keeps on saying, but this question, ask this one. Come on, ask this question. Okay. When your brain is doing that, you're obsessing. Don't ask the questions. Okay. I promise you that's what your brain is doing. When it's itching and you just cannot deal with it, don't ask any of those questions that's going on in your brain. Ask one of these. This is the and THEAND, the and. You can see it. This comes from Amazon, from the good people at the Skin Deep. You can get this card game and it will be safe for you to ask these questions. Just these. Don't veer off. Don't start adding in extra stuff. 2 or 3 of these questions just to scratch that itch. Okay? All right. So I'll give you a couple of these. This is the Healing Edition deck. I've got the long-term couples edition. There's a lot of different editions. These are really good to get. They're like $30. It's really handy for when your brain is itching to ask a question, but you don't want to ask that question. All right. It's not a good idea for you to ask that question. All right. So I'll give you 3 of these. This one says, what is one emotion I should practice more of and why? It's a really good question. What is one emotion I should practice more of and why? You might have something very interesting to say about that. You want to ask that question. That's a better question than the questions that you want to ask. All right. The questions that your brain is coming up with, you probably asked them all already anyway. And that's a better question than any of them. Okay. Second one says, what seed in me do you now see sprouting? Oh, that's deep right there, isn't it? What seed in me do you now see sprouting? That's a good one. Wouldn't you rather hear that? Wouldn't you rather hear that than if he told her he loved her? Wouldn't you rather hear that than what hotel that they were in, what positions they had sex in? Wouldn't you rather hear that than those answers, right? I think so. I would rather, personally. Okay. And one more. Fill in the blanks. Usually when I blank, you blank. Why is that? All right. You can fill in the blanks for this, and it's a good question. Usually when I blank, now you don't have to make it about the cheating, doggone it. Try not to. Try and make it be about something that's real and a connection that you can make in this relationship. But usually when I blank, you blank. What is that? Usually when I ask my husband anything, he says no. Why is that? Because he has childhood trauma and he was taught that agreeing to something may cause him some damage. So he says no right off the bat for everything. And then he thinks about it for about 2.5 minutes. He was like, well, what were you saying? What were you talking about there? And like, okay, is it a yes now? Are we good now? You caught up? Okay. All right. But that took years and years for me to understand that about him, to know that about him. Okay. And not to take it as personally, because I still do a little bit, but not to take it as personally because it's how he comes. It's how he talks to everybody, even the people he works with. He'll do the same thing to his boss. So I try not to get too offended by it. All right. But this is a really good one. This is something that would help you to understand something about him that you don't know. And your brain is always telling you that you're asking questions for connection, right? This is real connection. Okay. Well, usually when I blank, you blank. Why is that? That's an excellent question. I love that one. Fabulous, y'all. So we are rolling with the practices again. If you want to get a copy of the practices, the things that I tell you at the beginning and the end of every live, the things that I tell every single client of mine that I want them to do on a daily basis that will help them with the trauma of being cheated on, go ahead and put practices in the comments and I got you, okay? All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. I am spending this next week doing enchanted reconciliation calls. I've cleared some time in my schedule to be able to do them. So I really want you to get on an enchanted reconciliation call with me and see if I'm the coach that you want to work with. See if at the end of this conversation, do you feel better? Do you feel like you have a plan? Do you feel like, oh, I know something that I didn't know before? I want you to get on an enchanted reconciliation call with me. Talk to me for about 45 minutes. Tell me all about it. And we will come up with a plan together for what you can start to do right this minute that is going to heal you. And then in turn, by healing yourself, heal the relationship too. Okay. So I'm going to put that into the comments. Make sure you sign up for my enchanted reconciliation call. Okay. Put that in the comments for Love Coach Dasha and for Love After Cheating. Okay. All right. Let me put that over there. There and there. Okay. So click that link, girl. Get on a call with me. I got time this week. I got time to talk to people, to get people on the healing path. That is my thing. I want you to be on the path. I don't want you to have to suffer with this anymore. You have been betrayed, absolutely. But that does not mean that you can't heal. That does not mean that you can't leave this behind, leave the baggage that is associated with this behind, and move on to a better portion of your life. You can absolutely do that. You have to make up your mind to do it though. That's the key thing. And people will try and make you feel bad about making up your mind to do it. That's why it's the first step of the dreams formula is to make that decision, because once you've made that decision, you've got an anchor to hold on to. You have got a rock in the middle of this storm that you can cling to and say, no, I have already made my decision. I know what I want, and what other people say, what social media says, what movies and TV say, none of that matters because that's not my life. I am making the choices for my life, and I'm going to continue to do so. Doesn't matter what anybody else would think. And it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. If you love this person, if you just want to be with them, if you want to fix it, if you want to work it out, you can absolutely do that. You are not trapped. You are not stuck. You are not painted into any corners. You have choices. Because this happened to you, it feels like you have limited choices, but you are the one in control of what happens next. If you want to heal, if you want to reconcile, you can make that happen. All right? Gotta get you out of suffering mode. It's so much easier once you get out of that. Once you get out of the mode where you're just suffering every single day, you're at the mercy of all the thoughts. If you can get with me and talk with me about that, you'll be doing much better. Okay? All right. So let me talk a little bit today. I am going to talk to you a little bit about becoming that woman that no other woman could ever replace. All right. As you are dealing with this, as the infidelity has happened, let's be honest. Getting cheated on makes you question everything. It makes you feel like somehow you have missed something. Somehow you just weren't enough. You wonder what she had that you didn't have. You wonder what you could have done differently. But here's the truth, there was never another woman like you. And there still isn't. She was never going to compare to you. There is no other woman alive like you. You are, just because you are so unique, you are valuable, you are worthy, you are enough all on your own. There was never any woman that was ever going to compare to you, no matter what your brain and your fear speech is telling you. No other woman can replace you. The goal is not to compete, it's for you to heal, reclaim who you are, the real queen that you actually are of this story, and rise up. You were crushed, you were shattered, you were on the floor, but now it's time to not just get to your feet, but to fly. Okay? So tonight, I want, let's talk a little bit about what it actually means to be that woman that can't be replaced. Not because of ego, but because you have reclaimed your power, your presence, and your peace. And you are now amazing. You are now sparkly, radiant, because you have gone through this painful thing and come out the other side exactly who you were supposed to be. Okay? Um, no other woman doesn't mean that you're trying to outshine someone else. This is about stepping into your wholeness. This thing made you feel shattered. Being betrayed made you feel like you were broken into a million pieces. And as you started gathering up, it felt like you didn't even have all the pieces, right? As you've been trying to put yourself together, you still feel the holes, the places where you're not quite healed yet, the areas where there is a big piece missing, but you just don't know where it is. I am here to tell you that we are not trying to prove our worth to anybody else. We're not trying to prove it to him. You have to prove your worth to yourself. All right. Get up, put the pieces back together, become a version of yourself that was so strong she was able to do that. And then show yourself that that is what your worth really is. This infidelity did not determine your worth. It did not show anything about how worthy you are. The only way that you can show your worth to other people is by internalizing it and then letting that shine. Letting yourself be radiant, letting yourself be in control, letting yourself be the queen that you actually are. The woman who can't be replaced is someone who learned that she doesn't have to fight anybody for love. She creates love. She is love. You don't have to try and people, women will always try and like, I want to go the places that you took her, and I want to have sex the way that you had sex with her. You are not trying to fight with her for this person's love. He loves you already. All right. We've got to assume from the very beginning that you are worthy of that love. And he was the one that messed up. It didn't have anything to do with loving you. It just had to do with him probably being in some pain himself and not making a correct choice when this all went down. You're not fighting for his love. You already have it. Assume that it's there and then work towards feeling it again. You're not healing to prove them wrong. You're healing to remember who you actually are. The hard truth is that sometimes they are fumbling with this. They say the wrong thing. They do the wrong thing. They show effort, but it's not consistent. They get upset when you get upset. They will fail sometimes. And, even the ones that are doing all of the things, sometimes they fail at doing all of the things. You have to decide that you are willing to teach through consistency, not controlling him, but consistently showing that when he is doing the right things, that affects you in a positive way. But when he is doing the wrong things, he is not manipulating your feelings. He is not pulling you around by the nose, making you feel bad, making you act out. When you show that by example, that his good behavior can affect you positively and his bad behavior makes you ignore him, he is going to try very hard to do the good behavior. Okay? And if you are consistent with showing that, that is what you will get in return. He will be consistent about giving you the care and the understanding and the loving that you need as you are trying to heal. Healing doesn't mean that you are going to wait for him to get it right. It means that you're leading the energy of this relationship towards peace. Even when he's still learning, even when he's still fumbling and messing it up and saying the wrong things, you are not waiting on him to heal. You are healing, showing the example of healing and starting down the healing path. You are coming out of the woods. This curse has affected the both of you. He is lost in the woods just like you are, but you have someone, you have fairy godmother right here to show you the path and push you on it. So as you are walking this path, as you are leading with that healing energy, he can't do anything but follow you. He is going to see that you have found the path. You are the light in the woods that he needs to follow to be able to get out and get home. If he doesn't follow, okay, well, he might have been too dumb for you. Okay. If he cannot follow, hey, he might not have been the right person. However, if he can follow, you can lead both of you home. You can lead both of you out of these cursed woods and back to your homey castle where you belong together because you're walking that path and he's seeing you and he is trying to chase right down behind you and do what you're doing. Okay. You are not going to be able to force change on him. That has never worked, will never work. Okay. The same way that nobody can really force change on you either. You can, however, become the calm that changes that dynamic. As you are deciding on your healing, choosing better behaviors, Instead of acting triggered and lashing out, being able to calm yourself, to soothe yourself, to regulate, to not lash out with the questions. As you're doing that, you are teaching him what you are expecting of him, and he's going to try and emulate what you are doing. He is going to be coming right behind you, trying his very best to act in a healing manner. But you can't force him to do that. You can't make him do anything, but you can make him want to. If you are healing, he's going to want to be on that healing path with you. If you are healing and you're doing better and you're smiling more and you're open more and you're laughing and you're having good days, he's going to want to be with you on that path. So you can't make him be with you, but you can make him miss you. You can make him want to be walking that path with you, even if he's messing it all up. Okay? If he's trying and you're still hurting, pause and ask, what would the healed version of me do in this moment? The healed version, the part of me that is just so hurt right now. Okay, the exact opposite of that. What would that healed version of me do? Would she lash out, or would she lean into love with boundaries, of course, but would she lean into the love? And if you consistently ask what that healed version of yourself would do, and then do what the healed version will do, you are showing him that yes, it is possible for you to heal. Yes, it is. Absolutely. He did not mess it up so bad that you can't heal. And you will be experiencing your life as that healed person. You will be consistently asking yourself, what would they do? Doing what they do, and then feeling the healing from it. So I want you to be consistently asking yourself, what would the healed version of me do in this situation? If you pick up his phone, okay, you got it in your hand now. What would the healed version of you do? Would the healed version of you go through his phone? Would the healed version of you go through his GPS? Go through all his messages? Would the healed version of you do that? Did the version of you before this traumatic thing happened do that? Okay. If that's not a thing that the healed you would do, you should probably put the phone down, right? Okay. I'm just saying. Gotta do what she would do. Safety, it feels like when you're doing those negative actions, when you're doing those things that your fear and your pain are telling you to do, it feels like that's safety. It feels like, oh, if I am checking up on him, if I got the GPS on, if I'm watching every turn he makes on the GPS, if I am checking his messages, then I'll be safe. That's crazy. We cannot do that, okay? We cannot put our safety outside of ourselves. It's just, we're not going to do that, okay? I understand, the whole patriarchal thing of, oh, they're supposed to protect us. No, no, no. We must be responsible for our own safety. We must take care of ourselves. We must be aware, be very, very vigilant about things that are happening, trust but verify. We've got to be doing those things and keeping ourselves safe. Expecting somebody else to keep you safe is madness. Why would we do that? You are expecting a whole other person to care for you the way that you should be caring for you. That's putting the responsibility on the wrong person. And then that does not keep you safe. If you keep looking to somebody else to keep you safe, you are not feeling safe. You are just feeling like, oh, well, I might be protected now. I gotta maybe hope that he'll come through about keeping me safe. I gotta hope that he'll do that. If you are consistently keeping yourself safe, you don't have to worry about that at all. All right. Your regulation keeps you safe. Every deep breath, every pause before you say that mean thing, every time you are soft and not hard when you could be, all of those things towards yourself and towards other people, that is going to make you feel safe to love again. Keeping yourself centered, regulating, breathing, that's going to keep you in the place where you feel like, okay, I am safe. I can open myself up to love. If you are trying to wait for somebody else to give you that safety, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. And I don't want you to wait any longer to feel safe. Okay. You do not need him to prove your safety. You can build safety within yourself, and then you invite him to match that energy. Okay? If he's not capable of doing it, okay, you will find that out. You will know that about him. Maybe we can part on good terms. Maybe you can just accept that about him. But you will be healed. You will already be down the healing path, feeling better about yourself. If he wants to get left behind, okay, fine. But that doesn't mean that you should stay lost in the woods. Okay? Um, you don't rebuild your safety by waiting for him to act right. You rebuild it by showing your heart that it can be open again, that it is safe for you to open up yourself, to want to be close again. It's all right to teach your heart that, okay? So inhale, I am safe now. Exhale, I am becoming whole again. I am safe now. I am becoming whole again. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Focus on you, making you feel safe instead of worrying about him. No other woman like that. All right. He has never encountered that before in his entire life. You will be amazing to him. Okay. So if any of this speaks to you, if you're ready to become the woman that cannot be replaced, not because you're fighting for love, not because you're fighting against what other people are experiencing, but because you are just embodying that vibe of there is no other woman above me. That's exactly what I help women do in my one-to-one coaching, my no other woman coaching. When you are working with me, I am focusing on getting you to that place where you feel like you are invincible. Because you are. You've already been through one of the most painful, difficult things on the planet. And you chose not to just give up. No, you didn't choose that. You chose to heal and reconnect and reconcile and love again and forgive. You chose. I understand that either path is hard, but I feel like that might be the harder path to really choose to open yourself back up to loving this person again. I think that might be the harder path. There is the difficulty of if you left to close yourself off to that love again. That would be difficult, but I feel like the more productive of the two is to open yourself back up again, to let the love back in, to forgive, to make yourself feel compassion, to connect again. I feel like that's a little bit more difficult. The other way, it's all about you. You don't have to worry about him. You can just focus on yourself. When you are choosing to stay, you are choosing to reconnect with a whole other person, to rebuild a foundation with somebody who's hurt you, but you really, really love. So I feel like you're already embodying that energy. Just being here, just deciding that you do still love and you do still want to try and work things out. I feel like you are doing that. So in our private lessons, I help you to release the obsession about this. Rebuild your emotional regulation, get you centered, get you settled in yourself, and then to reframe this story so that you can reconnect with your partner again without losing yourself in it. You shouldn't have to lose yourself after this infidelity just to be able to get past it. That does not really actually help you get past it. If you lose yourself, you're just wandering around, not really fully embodying yourself, just kind of make pretending that you are something that you're not. I don't want you to have to live like that. I want you to actually be happy and free and peaceful, compassionate and loving and forgiving. I want you to actually be that, not just pretending to be. So if you're not sure what your next step should be, go ahead and click on that link for the Enchanted Reconciliation call. It's good stuff. All right. We're going to talk about your story. We're going to figure out what your curse really is, how you got lost in the woods, and then I'm going to put you on the path and shove you down it so that you can get back to your peace. You can get to clarity. You can get to understanding just by getting on a call with me. So it is in the comments on Love Coach Dasha and I Love After Cheating. If you are watching this on Instagram, go to my bio and get on the Enchanted Reconciliation call. It's right there in my bio. Click the link, pick a date and time, and talk with me. Okay? We are going to get you on the path. And if you feel like I am a trusted advisor. I am the fairy godmother that you have been looking for to help you get back home to your castle, then you can hire me for my No Other Woman one-to-one coaching. Okay? You can't control whether he becomes a better man, but you can absolutely decide that you are going to be a healed woman. That's where your real power lies. You can't say to him, I expect this of you. I expect you to be a good man. I expect you to be faithful. I expect you to just be understanding about my feelings about this whole situation. You can expect all of that from him, but he may or may not succeed at that. You absolutely can succeed at healing, whether you are going to be with him or whether you are not going to be with him. You would have to do the same work to heal yourself. So, regardless of what he's doing, you can be that healed woman. Okay? I hope you decide to get on a call with me and help you be that other woman instead of comparing yourself anymore to this low standard chick that he done run around with. Instead of comparing yourself, to compare yourself to who you really want to be, and then use that as your aspiration. Use that to increase your vibe and make you feel like the woman that you are meant to be on this planet. Okay? You are strong. You are invincible. You have shown how strong you are just through this bit of the story. But you can get stronger. You can get stronger. You can get more more with the ground underneath your feet and not feel like the world is spinning and that you're on a roller coaster. You can get there. I know you can. I would love to help you do it. Okay? All right. So wrapping up the very last of the practices, and remember, if you want the practices from me, practices in the comments, and I will give you the link. The practices, the last of the practices that we always do together is do your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? I need you to do that. I need you to jump on that. Remember we were talking earlier about the negative thoughts? Your brain on trauma says everything is negative. That includes you. Okay, your brain says that you're awful too. And we must stop listening to that because you're not awful. You're a beautiful, kind, loving, radiant woman who is out here being the queen, but you're just a little cursed right now. We've got to stop expecting our brains to tell us the truth about ourselves and tell our brains what they need to think about ourselves, okay? When you are doing your affirmations, you are constantly telling your brain what you want to think about yourself. And if you do that consistently, your brain will remember those messages and it will try and get into alignment with what you say about yourself. Again, same way that your brain will keep on trying to hand you positive things. If you keep thinking about positive things, it will do the same thing with yourself. All right. It will keep on remembering all the good things that you said about yourself. You looked yourself in the eye and you said with authority this affirmation. Okay, my brain has to remember that. It has to believe it. Okay. So today's affirmation, this is a good one. Today I trust myself. Today I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. And you are. You are already making good decisions. You've already joined me for these lives. you have worked with me, maybe you have decided that you love this person and you would like to get past this, you would like to reconcile, you're not ready to throw the whole thing away. You have been doing good decisions. Trust yourself. Trust that if you say that this is the person for you, trust that you know what you're talking about. Nobody else could know. Nobody else could know that. They could tell you that he's the wrong person, but they couldn't know that. Only you can know that. So trust yourself. If you believe that this is the right person, I believe you. I trust you. I will lend you a little of my trust, and I want you to go ahead and trust yourself that you are doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing for yourself, and you are doing the right thing for your love story. All right. I don't think that it's over. I think you can still get to happily ever after. And I am here to guide you. Get on an Enchanted Reconciliation call with me and we'll talk about it. All right. All right, y'all. That's about it. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Now, remember the practices. I need you to do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude practice. Stop asking all those questions and do your affirmations. Those things are the basics. If you start doing the basics, you will start to be in control of yourself again. You will not feel so bad. All right. But more than anything, more than even the practices, do not do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. That is your trauma speaking. And if you do what they tell you to do, you do what the fear says, if you do what the trauma says, if you do what the pain says, you will not be on the healing path. You will be wandering deeper into the woods. It's getting darker, it's getting scarier the more you do what the fear and the pain tell you to do. But if you choose to do the exact opposite of what the fear and the pain are telling you, you will be on the healing path. You will be doing the things that will get you to healed if you do the exact opposite of all those things that your brain is screaming when you're traumatized. Okay? So that's about it. Thank you for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Mwah. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you for all of this, for the decisions that you've been making, for the choices that you're making for your own life, for choosing in favor of love and forgiveness and compassion and understanding and reconciliation. I am proud of you for that. I am here to tell you that we need more people in the world like you. We need more people who are focused on love and healing. And you are not doing the wrong thing. You are doing absolutely the right thing. And if you need support in that, I am happy to do that. Okay? All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again. Oh, I my son's opening night for his play is next Thursday, and I think I might go to opening night. If not, I'll be here, but I'll let you know before then. Okay, but it's opening night. I'm gonna try and go to opening night. My husband wants to go Friday, but I'm like opening night though. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I will see you again. If not this Thursday, then next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, y'all.